this was something I didn't understand about myself early in my career. And I guess I kind of got some strange looks along the way before I figured it out. I started off in sales and marketing role for a large regional radiology group, and they had just gone through a merger. And there was a lot of change going on, and so immediately I just started asking questions. It was like I couldn't help it. And it's also like I couldn't even move forward without the answers to these questions. I met with physicians who had been with the organization for decades. I asked all sorts of questions about the way things used to be. I built relationships with the front office staff for the same reason. What did it used to be like? And how is it different now? And how do you think that's better or not? And some definitely thought that I was meddling way too much, that I should just get out and do my job. But to me, this was a part of my job. I couldn't go out unless I was informed. Only the problem was I really couldn't put my finger on why I was doing it, so it bothered the people around me. And if only I would have known that this was the StrengthsFinder Context theme in Overdrive, I could have used it to make relationships easier instead of strained. I am Becky Hammond, founder and strengths maven over at IsogoStrong.com and host of Isogo TV podcast, where we are here to make relationships easier on our teams and in our families by using our strengths instead of fixating on weakness. And this is episode 99 in our Make Relationship Easier series, where we're taking a look at each of the 34 CliftonStrengths talent themes that you might more commonly know as the StrengthsFinder strengths. That's what they've been known as historically, to see what we can do to dial these in to impact our relationships that ultimately impacts every aspect of our lives. Because when we're really honest, relationships, team, family, they're the building blocks of life. So here we are talking about the context theme. And if this context theme is a talent of yours, then when a meeting starts off or a decision starts off by reviewing the history of what has happened until this point, you're going to be like instantly engaged and energized, because history speaks your language. You see and enjoy history, and not just like the bigger picture history like World War II, but even smaller history like the life story of your neighbor. With this drive, you just have an intuition that past events and actions will inform both the present and the future. And one of the most fascinating common talents that I have seen associated with this context strengths is a good memory. Is that true for you? Perhaps people with context talent appreciate history because they remember more of it? I don't know. But you offer your family or your team this memory of events, as well as the orientation that stresses the importance of what has come before this moment. And like was true in my earlier days, that may also lead you to ask lots of questions. Actually, it's true of me now too. Who am I kidding? Knowing the context of the situation will bring you to your best decisions, and it will help you forge and deepen relationships if you let it. And it's up to you as to how you decide to use what could really be an amazing context strength. As is true of every strength, the volume that you choose for context in any situation will help you get to that point of making relationships easier or harder still. Because when it's in overdrive or not communicated well, it can feel incessant and aggravating to the people around you. You can begin to feel very slow to move and react and change because you're still gathering information about the past. You can get people stuck in some long meetings without even realizing that it's happening. So here are a couple ideas of ways that you can craft your environment to feed that context strength while continuing to build strong, easier relationships. So first, share what you collect, including the implications. So your talent is super, super great at gathering information, and sometimes it can feel so good just to get the information that you stop there. But when you're looking to engage your team or your boss or your family, think through thoughtful ways to share what you have gathered. And as you do this, be sure that you don't leave out the so what factor, because other people don't think like they do. They might not see the connection of your random historical facts to the project or the decision or to today. And so as you become a pro at doing this well, you'll help to smooth out the relationships around you and then offer value that they hadn't even considered. before you. And then second, reframe your mindset of context. And we've been talking about this. Much of using our strengths to make relationships easier is about mindset, and then the discipline or the commitment to follow that mindset with action. The mindset to know and appreciate and dial in our strengths, and to know and accept and appreciate the strengths of the people that are around us. So for this context strength, remember that not everyone cares about the history and context of a situation as much as you do. I know it's very sad. At the same time, like we described in the first action, they also don't see as much value as you do. So try reframing by explaining your inclination to know about the past. And in some more personal cases, ensure that they're comfortable sharing with you. And be okay realizing that some people just aren't as comfortable. As you adjust your mindset, you'll save yourself some relational eye rolling, like I have received, and perhaps even gain some buy-in on why the past is so important for today. So there we have it, scratching the surface about using your context strengths to make relationships easier around you. Let your strengths propel you to a more flourishing family or a flourishing team. And if you operate from the context strength, or you know someone who does, I'd love to know how this episode and the actions sit with you. How do they resonate? How do they not? And perhaps, even better, what else would you do, or what else have you done to dial in your context strength to make relationships easier around you? Your insights would be truly exciting to me and others in this little community here as well. There are two ways you can do this. You could do that by commenting on the blog post that goes up with this episode over at isogostrong.com/episode 99, or head over to Instagram and tag me or DM me at isogostrong with your example of context when it's gone well or gone astray. For both the website and Instagram, that's spelled ISOGO strong. As always, if this episode resonated with you, we'd love an awesome rating over at iTunes. So thanks for obliging us in that and for doing your part to get the word spread. You and your strengths have the power to make a ripple effect in your family, in your team, and I believe ultimately across the entire world, to make relationships easier and propel you to a flourishing family and team. So dial them in, take ownership for your mindset, and make those relationships easier. Till next time on Isogo TV.